All right, guys, welcome back to the 4-base flex, aka 3-base drip onto 4-base drip, whatever the fuck. All right, so here we are. Um, this has been the game here, and I just wanted to show you when you come on to a game that you have won, this is what you see. Yay. And I'm going to go ahead and snip this and make a screenshot later, because I do screenshot all my victories because I am a piece of shit. But I just wanted to kind of look around here because you can't really do much more at this point in the game, but you can at least see where things stand. So this contain held. Surprisingly, I just kind of sent people who generated here back over to here. I did have the assistance of Australia, who was at war, but look at this. This guy, man, he had bombers back here. I had like 4 bombers. So, it's the AI, and the AI plays very conservatively. This is pretty cool. Once you win, you can see where everything was for your enemies. And but anyway, the what you saw last time was basically my good fortune was I had 3 oil fields, and one of them was Baghdad. And if you've got Baghdad and all 9 oil fields, or double territories rather, which I did, and 2 other oil fields, I knew I was sitting in a superior position to anybody else. So every second that passed was to my advantage. And I try to explain that to people playing this game is like, look, if you're at a disadvantage, then attack now, like right now, because every second that passes, they're generating more material than you are. So you're 100 and they're 120, and then now you're 105 and they're 150, then you're 110 and they're 200. It's not a good proposition. At the same time, I've been on that losing side of the equation, and it's tough because like you're not powerful enough to attack. So I would say, like, if you're up against someone like this who has the 4-base or 3-base threatening 4, I would start to reach out to other countries and very quickly, as quickly as you can, try to put together a coalition and attack as soon as you can. Like, as soon as you can, attack. I was going to take you over to another game of mine here. This is another 4-base flex here. And you can see I've got like a dozen games at any given time. I just keep them pumping through the works here. And so my other one here is France, and same sort of situation. Probably going to win for the exact same reason. So I went ahead and took my 4th. You can see I'm on the countdown timer here. I've got a day and 5 hours, it looks like. And again, though, same kind of scenario. I had 1 base, 2 base, 3 base for the longest time. But one of them was Baghdad. You can't compare a 9 double base to a 5 double base. So, and then finally, at the very last minute, I went in here and took this for my 4th. And it's funny because usually when you take your 4th, it's the least vulnerable of all, because people have been, and in this case, it was Austria-Hungary. He'd been sort of competing with me the whole time. He'd been kind of pissed off when I took, first the home oil field here, and then I took this one here. He was kind of butthurt about it, but I was like, hey, dude, I got here first, like, what are you going to do? But he had stacked up a lot of shit around those. And so you can kind of expect that with your first couple oil fields. This one, I stacked up defensively. You can see that. Like, I've got, 400 infantry, almost 40 cannon, a lot of tanks, a lot of, cars. And really no one attacked into my 3rd very much. Little bit, but not much. So it's kind of funny, like if you are a 3-base drip or a 4-base drip, about to go into 4-base, I'd say defend your first and second. I mean, of course, look at the lay of the land and think about it. But in this case, first and second was the ones I had to defend the heaviest. Third, almost not at all. Fourth, really not at all at all. You know, it's a funny thing. I guess it's because when you conquer in, you really are defeating any major armies in the area in order to conquer in. And so there's nothing really waiting there anymore. That's the thing you have to realize about this game. It's something that's happened over here. So Austria-Hungary here attacked in and took like several of these outer, not quadrants, because there's 8 of them. What would that be? Octants? But anyway, he took several of those. But once his energy was spent and he attacked in and lost against my center, then it was just child's play to push back out because there's really no core large army anymore. I just push back out with minimal effort. And that's kind of what I'm doing here. I can see that he's gathering some people here, so I sent a little core group here of 88 and 10 cannon, which is really nothing at all. So if he tries to push in, I'm even thinking, well, maybe I will. Let's just attack. You know what? Why not? Let's just attack. I mean, at this point, as you expand outwards and attack outwards, it's really just more defensive no man's land. It's just more territory that they need to traverse to get to you. So, and you can see, like, as many as I have here, I'm moving back with some of my defensive stuff. I've got 65 infantry, 8 cannon moving back into my stack here. So that's going to be almost 400 and like 24, 25. And then I've got cannon out here. It's ridiculous. All right. Well, anyway, this is what you get when you patiently work your way to that, end game. So take your time. Honestly, once you've got 3 bases, especially if you're able to get Baghdad, just sit on it for as long as you can until you have ridiculous amounts of troops. And for me, that was 300 infantry and 40-ish cannon, and then a nice Air Force. Don't forget the Air Force. That's been like a big learning curve for me. It's been the Air Force is huge, and it's funny because if you build up only bombers, that's great, but you don't have any defense against other players' bombers. And if you build up only fighters, that's great. You're huge defensively, but you don't have any really powerful offensive units. So I would recommend, oftentimes what I'll do is I'll build up fighters first because I'm in a defensive posture. I've just taken an oil field, so I want to be defensive. But once I've got a nice little, maybe 5 or 6 fighters there, then I'll lay on with the bombers, the offensive units. I've played other games where I just go straight for bombers, so I don't really have any advice there. Do whatever you want to do. All right, it's been fun playing this end game drip with you guys, and you can see when you look, I'll tell you this, I've gotten to the end game and lost like 2 or 3 times, so it's not guaranteed. My advice would be, if you get that far, take your time, sit on it, gather power. All right, so that's it for me. Take care, you guys. Adios.